Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Your help so much.
Very close, so he's getting hot. Honor guard! Uniformed personnel! Attention! Cordon! Post! Honor guard! Post! Honor guard! Uniformed personnel! Present! Arm! Order! Arm!
Please be seated.
Guard! Heart train! Push!
I have a very clear memory of May 5th, 2015. I also distinctly remember the days that followed that horrible tragedy, being in awe of how our city and our community came together, united not only in grief, but in appreciation for the service provided by Sergeant Greg Moore and all first responders. My dad was a cop, and growing up, I remember him going to police funerals. But the impact of losing one of our society's protectors did not really hit me until I had left the Marine Corps and put on a badge. The first time I lost someone in the line of duty, I'd only been a cop for a year and a half when Steve Pollard was killed. And after 32 years in law enforcement and attendance at far too many police funerals, I can still remember the faces and the smiles of the brothers who've died. The degree to which a slain officer is mourned varies from city to city. In some places, there's a grand funeral and a few news stories, and then it seems that only the officer's family and fellow officers remember in the years to follow. Our community is different. We understand that the police and the community are in this together, that we work cooperatively to keep each other safe, and the impact of a loss such as Greg's takes much more time to reconcile. We remember our fallen. We knew them as parents, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. We honor them as police officers, but we remember and honor them for something more. We remember that they stood for the ideals and principles that everyone in uniform stands for. The memorial behind me is a tribute to a fallen officer's unmistakable integrity, massive personality, unshakable character, and fantastic humor. It's a tribute to what he meant to our community, and it's meant to honor him and his brothers and sisters in uniform. As painful as our individual losses may be, I do know that all of us can take both comfort and pride in one undeniable truth: that he did not die in vain. He was taken from us doing what he did best, serving and protecting not only our community, but also the ideals, the values, and the freedoms that are so uniquely American. The service of officers across the United States and the sacrifice made by Sergeant Moore resonate through our communities and our agencies and reminds us why we wear the badge. Throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to work with some of the finest people this country has to offer. And I'm continually amazed by the self-sacrifice and selfless service by the men and women who work in public safety. I'm also continually amazed by the support and trust of our community. It's humbling to stand with a distinguished group of public servants, to honor Greg and to pay tribute to a man who gave all in the interest of safety and security for our community. In the end, and the reason that we are here today, is that Sergeant Moore personified the oath we take when we raise our right hands and are sworn in. Greg loved the police department, and he embodied proactive policing, and he was damn good at finding criminals. During his final graveyard shift, Greg drove through a neighborhood in northwest Coeur d'Alene and woke up some homeowners to tell them their garage door was open so they would not be the victim of a burglar. He stopped a man who was out doing exactly that. And during a frisk, the man produced a gun and shot him. Greg Moore was killed protecting the life and property and the way of life of the citizens of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. He was part of a proud profession and an even prouder police department, and it will never be forgotten.
Honor guard! Uniform personnel! Attention! Dismiss! I'm not wearing my ears. Oh well, it's over that one. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Hey, I can't tell.
I still need to do this. I know, let's get
I know.
Should we email? Are we thinking, are we doing like a dinner? I watched
I'll make it more with it.
Hey, Nate. Is Eric here? Oh, got it.
Johan, you're back in the crowd.
We're heading out. You got my keys.
So we're looking for Mario. Hey! Well, there's Yukon. go to work for a while and then turn around and go to the day. And I'll be back. You're out.
Customer to the radio. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Find somebody a little more familiar with him.
Okay, sure. Okay. Sure, if you want to. I'd love to talk to you too. Okay. About the ceremony, about President Moore. Did you know President Moore as well? Testing 1, 2, 3.
John Austin.
We're going to spell first and last name so get it correct.
John, John, Austin.
Okay.
Rick Walker,
Okay. All right. Go ahead and spell first and last name so I get it correct.
Rickwalker.
Okay. Okay. I understand you worked for the city at one point and you knew of Officer Moore. Did you know him personally?
I didn't know him personally, just through the force, and very dedicated to his job, like all of the police officers are for Coeur d'Alene and the county. And so this has been a very important memorial. Mayor Widmeyer actually made sure that this waterfall and area was created for him. He was the mayor when Greg was killed. So, and so that made it really important to the mayor to have this kind of a memorial for him. And I'm pretty proud of how it all came out.
So this memorial is not only for Sergeant Moore, but also other fallen officers.
That's correct. There was an ISP officer, Linda Huff, who was killed prior to that. And so it's a tribute to her and really all who serve in some capacity, because they put their life on the line every single day.
What did you think of the ceremony?
You know, it was outstanding, and I know how much effort the city puts into that and how important it is to them to have a remembrance every year, but particularly on the 10th anniversary. I think it was very important to the city, and it was great to see so many people show up.
This hits close at home because Sergeant Moore and other law enforcement officers sometimes they run on one rapport with citizens, and when one of these officers, falls, it's difficult for the community.
Yeah, it's a terrific force, very well led by Chief White, and the Coeur d'Alene City Council supports the police in a great fashion, always have. And I was city treasurer for a long time, so it was part of the funding and so forth. But it really is a tribute to the success of the city over the years to have such a great force. And then, of course, they have great cooperation with the other cities like Hayden and of course, the Sheriff's Department for Kootenai County. So a very important group of people that serve our community every day.
Why was it important for you to show up for this ceremony?
It's always important to be here for this day. It's sort of like the Sunshine Memorial, which was last Friday for the 91 who died when I lived over there. You just want to be in tribute to those people who gave their lives really for what they did for a living and how they protect the community.
That's all the questions I have. Anything else you'd like to
My hat's off to the mayor and council for setting this day aside and making sure their whole force was here and making sure that we had a nice tribute to officer on this day.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
John did a pretty good job of explaining it. I have a brother in law enforcement, so I'm always, you have to show mad respect for fallen officers.
Of course, he was from the Sea State, so.
Just twist that
So
knife.
having a law enforcement officer in your family, this actually hit people at home,
You never know. You never know. Like the case with Moore, he never saw it coming. There's some bad people out there.
Thank you very much.
You can cut me out.
We always usually do.
Yeah, thank you.